All right, hello and welcome to another episode of Unisharks podcast. I'm today's host. Everyone's got my name, Hammerhead, and I'm with my co-hosts here as usual, Mako and Lemon.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
We have a guest with us. We'll have him introduce himself just a little bit. We might have him talk about our meme of the week. So the meme of the week, it was funny, but I'm not gonna lie, it didn't leave the greatest impression as the other two memes that we.
The refried beans.
Okay.
So much more classy.
But this meme, I don't know how we're going to share it, but we'll find out how. But it's just a video. Oh, it was a YouTube one, duh. It's just called Why Camera Angles Are Important. Mako, you want to explain it a little bit?
So it's at some kind of football game or something, and they're doing a presentation of the flag, and they start fluttering it. And I mean, you'll have to see the actual video so you can understand why they named it that way. But yeah, it's pretty good. I don't want to spoil too much of it.
You don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, just got watch the guy's reaction, or actions, I guess. I don't like a term. But also, I forgot, our guest here, he put up a comment asking about the Grievous video. Did you finally see it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you like that one?
That one was good.
Okay, good.
If that doesn't get meme of the week one of these days, I'll be shocked.
So yeah, we'll get right to this. We have a guest here. He's a buddy of mine. And I mean, you're with 3 other people on the page?
Right. So we have an Instagram page, and this kind of all originated with my actual brother's dream was to have 4 of us represent each member of Delta Squad from the old video game, Star Wars video game, Republic Commandos. And so our Instagram is called Republic Commandos. You can search us with just at Republic Commandos. It's plural because we're not just Delta Squad. We're trying to get an Omega Squad, and honestly, any other squad. We welcome, custom builds and stuff, as well as we post. We love a lot of the art that we get, so we'll post artists and such.
Yeah.
But I represent Sev, and so I'll go by the name Sev, which is short for Delta 1207. And yeah, so that's why I get the nickname. Anyway, it's a great game. We love playing it. We love representing the characters. And actually, up until Tuesday, we're currently having our 5K giveaway. It's a quick little pitch here. If you like us, follow us, and repost one of our great pictures that we post on Instagram, we'll recognize that, we'll see that, and we're giving away in a raffle drawing either a raw Republic Commando helmet that you can customize and build yourself, and we'll provide instructions or whatever help you need. Or if you already have one, we have a fan package, which comes with the books, the Republic Commando books, which was by Karen Travis, I believe her name was. She's got 5 great books out. I haven't read them all. I'm on the last one. And it comes with a t-shirt and some other little knickknacks that we'll send your way. But it's an either or if you win, and it goes till Tuesday.
Oh, geez, I might have to make an Instagram account. That actually sounds really good.
Yeah,
You've got a lot of great pictures. You won't regret it.
Yeah, so all 4 of you are brothers?
We're actually brothers, so it works out really well
Okay.
with the whole clone trooper aspect because we're all relatively the same height. We already act and goof around like the characters even.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put a link to their Instagram page in the description below once we upload this. We'll see if the raffle's still going by the time this is up.
Hopefully, if not, come follow us anyway. We'll have another raffle at 10K.
Yeah. All right. I'm still not at 10K yet. You guys should probably beat me.
We've only started doing this year, and we really appreciate the help and support that so many Star Wars fans have given us, and they've shared our stories and whatnot. So
in 2021 or?
No, 2020.
no, 2 years. No, back in fact, it was late 2020, and we didn't get out as often as we wanted to. We are part of the 501st Legion, which so we go out and we do volunteer work whenever we can. But unfortunately, with everything being closed due to 2020, being the way it was with the pandemic and such, we just went virtual with it. We said, let's try and get Star Wars fans vamped, even though we can't go physically visit them at hospitals or such.
Yeah. I think recently, it was part of the 501st. They were in like a parade, but it might have just been a repost from earlier. But yeah, they do pretty cool stuff. But isn't there like an application process they have to do?
Right. So in order to join the 501st, and obviously I'm not representing them today so that I can express my own opinions, but just a quick little pitch for them. They're a great group of a great organization that does charity work, and in order to join them, you have to have a screen-accurate costume, and that's either via movie or video game, much like we are at the Republic Commandos. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, there's a little application. You work with your local representatives, so even though it's worldwide, there's a garrison or a squad, just about anywhere that you can find a good group of Star Wars fans. And after that, you apply, and there's someone who checks off on your costume via pictures, and you're good to go.
Okay. I never knew that.
A little bit of tidbit for you.
Yeah. All right, thanks for that, Seth. So yeah, today, I mean, we wanted to do just a Star Wars day.
Shocking.
Sorry.
Because everybody here, I mean, they have a Star Wars page, and we're all fans of Star Wars here, so.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard my rants about Star Wars and the Disney Star Wars and, you know, where we've gotten so far with that.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that again, but maybe less detail.
Yeah.
I'll probably be on your tail, Manko, with all those rants. I'm horrible.
But, so the first thing I want to talk about was kind of the direction that we've been seeing general Star Wars has been going in the past 5 years. Like, how do we feel about that? Like, are you guys happy with, like, the movies and, like, the games or any other stuff that's come out, maybe other comics or books that have possibly come out either?
I feel like, I guess EA's Battlefront 2 kind of represents the whole arc of it the best. It started off as what felt like a really cheap cash grab, and then just over time with a lot of love and attention, it's starting to get somewhere good.
And then they stopped putting out DLC.
Yeah. Except luckily for us, they're actually putting out more and more and more Star Wars content now. But yeah, I just remember when Force Awakens came out, I was kind of disappointed because I was like, this feels like just a retread of A New Hope with new characters. But after the prequels, they probably just want to soften us up, go, look, we can make decent Star Wars movies, you know, please forgive us and stay with us for this new trilogy. But then, you know, The Last Jedi happened, and that tossed out a lot of potential storylines, I felt. And then The Rise of Skywalker, I just didn't care for that very much. So, I mean, Seb, what were your thoughts on that?
No, it's all very fair. I would argue that the problem started even longer than 5 years ago. I'd go back to 2012 when EA was given exclusive rights to all video game content. In fact, you could go back even further to the deterioration of LucasArts and their video game industry. Because I don't know about you, Sharks, but I grew up with the old books, X-Wing and the old video games, Dark Forces, Rogue Squadron.
Oh, that was a good one.
Right, and it's just stuff you played on the PC. And then while video games were moving to the console, I felt like there was, again, that cash grab.
Yeah.
And so with the films, there's always going to be some love-hate. And I was talking with my wife, actually, about this. There tends to be this general idea that films all have to adhere to a certain demographic. And it really does limit, what actors can do, what directors can do, and what those general audiences are expecting. I'm personally not a new fan or a fan of the new trilogy, the sequels. And you could argue that that's because I grew up with the prequels. That was my generation. Yeah. People hated the prequels just as much. And fortunately, it feels like because whether this crapshoot of sequel trilogy came out that people are starting to love the prequels more, or just they've had the time to grow and to be retcon in some industry with the shows and great directors like Dave Filoni.
Oh yeah.
And Jon Favreau, and so coming back to Battlefront 2, a lot of that love for Battlefront 2 has come back because people have been customizing the clone troopers.
Oh yeah.
And so they've been throwing. In fact, you can find the Republic Commando skins now in those video games.
Oh wow.
Really?
But they're not paying you anything, though, right?
No. So all these people are hacking the system for their own benefit. I mean, there was no love for the new Battlefront run. I mean, I love the original Battlefronts 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so when the new Battlefront 1 and 2 from 2015 and later came out, there was that, why isn't it Battlefront 3? Or what's different? And then there was a whole uproar about why there wasn't a campaign.
Yeah.
Which they tried to remedy in Battlefront 2. Which, people didn't like it because it really wasn't a true Empire story that it was advertised to be.
Yeah.
And it's totally okay for people to have opinions and for them to not like certain aspects of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's the people who come out and say you have to love all Star Wars and you can't voice your opinion that are the hypocrites out there.
Yeah.
And you got to find that balance. But that's me on my soapbox right now.
Yeah, and I think kind of going back to the prequels and talking about how people actually like them now, I think weirdly part of that is the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Because just all the memes, it actually is funny to watch Revenge of the Sith now. There's even memes today about how, when, Anakin whips out the lightsaber to kill the kids, people are like, I'm just laughing hysterically at this part. My parents like, what's wrong with you? This is child murder. I'm like, have you seen the memes, though, Mom?
Memes have saved a lot of the prequels, for one. I mean, I love the Bernie Mittens, the Bernie Sanders stuff. He's all over. I mean, even in the Star Wars universe, Mark Hamill has been tweeting a lot of those, and I've just been laughing along.
Yeah.
Am I a fan of Bernie? Not particularly. He's done some things I don't like, but just like anyone you meet off the street, they've got a good heart to them. I believe.
Yeah.
And so I like the memes. I like the Trump memes. It's hilarious, and I love the Grievous running after Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Awesome. So yes, in short, the internet has saved a lot of the prequels, and it could save the sequels eventually.
Yeah, it could be. Some people have pointed that out. Maybe 10 years from now, there'll be such good sequel memes. We'll be like,
well,
you know what? Maybe they weren't so bad.
Yeah, so far there hasn't been, right, Lemon? But I mean, I think I showed you one. It was a prequel meme, but it was for a sequel. Mm-hmm. It was Palpatine talking to Anakin, and he says, "Palpatine is the Plagueis of the Wise." Speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turns to him and is like, our grandchildren are going to make out in front of my dead body. And he's like, what?
What?
It's a little mix of both right there.
And, I'd argue that the other half that saved the prequels was the Clone Wars show,
Mm-hmm.
actually, because that gave characters like Anakin and even Count Dooku more of the story and the time they needed for people to get attached to them, to fall in love with them.
Yeah.
Because remember, everyone was like, Count Dooku's so lame, Darth Maul was so much cooler. And then a few years as Clone Wars came out, people were like, Count Dooku was actually pretty cool.
He was this old actor.
Yeah.
Right.
Talented.
Very
really talented actor. I mean, the guy was in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then, he, I think he fought in, again, I'm no expert on anything, not even an expert in Star Wars, but he fought in wars. In battles and stuff.
Yep.
So when George Lucas came and said, you need to make a sound when your head gets cut off or when this stabbing action happens, he goes, that's not how people sound when they die. And George just went, okay, well, you would know.
Yeah. I remember with Lord of the Rings, during that scene where he gets stabbed in the back.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson was like, I need you to make this noise. He's like, that's not the kind of noise a man makes. And he gets stabbed in the back. It's
right.
all the air gets driven out of your lungs. So you go, ah.
That might be the actual story. Again, I'm no expert, but I appreciate his work. And again, the comics made him look really good.
Yeah.
The cartoons. The only thing I didn't like about Clone Wars was it felt like it ripped off the Samurai Jack Clone Wars cartoon.
Oh, the
yeah,
Gendy
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I grew
and
up
that
with
was
those.
phenomenal.
Oh, and Grievous
Oh
was
my
a
gosh.
boss in those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mako here showed us clips of Grievous being Grievous.
When he's like fighting with his feet and
Yeah, and taking on 7 Jedi Masters or in their Padawans
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, and even later, Kiyoti's like, we were tired, but we're Jedi. When's the last time anybody's taken on like 7 of us and gotten away with it?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I did read that part of that was George Lucas's fault, actually, because
Sure.
initially Gendy and his team were like, okay, he's supposed to be this cool Jedi hunter, like unstoppable. And then after they made the cartoon, George came in and said, well, he's supposed to be more of like a B-list movie villain, like twirls his mustache and runs away kind of thing.
Like, yeah, see.
Yeah. So that's what they went for in the movie, and I'd argue to a fault in Clone Wars.
Sure.
You know, the later one.
Well, and I don't have a whole lot of acting experience, but in the little bit that I do, it feels like actors and directors and editors can be given a list of characteristics for a certain character, and they stick to that, and it limits the characterization overall rather than showing this side of the other character or Anakin's other side, and it can hurt a franchise, and I think the Star Wars industry in particular hurt because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
How about you, Lemon? What do you think?
What do you think about the prequels?
Or just so far. The past
Sorry,
couple
down the
years-
rabbit
past few
hole.
years.
Yeah, kind of what Mako said. To me, like the news, like most of the Disney stuff feels like fan fiction to me a little bit. Like it's hard to take seriously because like there's no progression. To me, it feels like they're just doing a cash grab for me. But go back to the prequels though. You said something that made me think about it. What saved the prequels for me was the soundtrack. Like I listened to the soundtrack all the time, and like even though the movie wasn't that great, like I can still in my head I can imagine this really awesome movie playing out for me. You know,
Yeah.
like when I listen to it, and it just invokes such powerful emotions. So like that's what saved the prequels for me. You know, but yeah, like the stuff I do like from the new Disney, like Star Wars is the Mandalorian, of course, which is really great, and I do like the comics they've made of Darth Vader. That was really cool, and
Oh, yeah.
Rogue One was cool too. I like the ending scene in Rogue One where Darth Vader just goes crazy. But
Oh my gosh, I fell in love with Rogue One at the minute of the space battle because
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
loved. Again, I grew up with Rogue Squadron, and then the cherry on top was the Darth Vader scene, and it became such an iconic hallway scene that
Yeah.
Right.
blew fans away, and so it instantly went to the top shelf of my favorite Star Wars films. But Lemon, you mentioned something that I think is key in any movie franchise, which is the soundtrack. John Williams, flat out awesome. Hans Zimmerman, great. There's been a lot of renditions and great directors and musical scores based off of their work. You get into some of the sequels, and that's a problem you find, is that there's no standalone soundtrack. There's no Phantom Menace
Right.
choir or Battle of the Heroes from the third film, and in fact, a lot of movies outside the Star Wars universe suffer with that.
yeah,
I grew up with the old Disney animated shows, so when I watched Mary Poppins, I could sing Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But I can't sing a single thing or a song or whatever from the second Mary Poppins show. And I think that's something that editors and directors and producers need to realize, is that a soundtrack is key.
yeah, definitely, because the music really drives the emotions really hard. You know, like my sister, she did a senior project, which in Idaho you have to do a senior project before graduating high school. But anyway, she did a whole senior project on movie soundtracks and movies and like how it affected. And she like would take clips of movies and like just change the soundtrack, and it just changed the whole vibe. Like she took the Phantom Menace scene and like put in like some Pirates of the Caribbean bar music while
Oh,
That sounds
It's-
amazing, actually.
Yeah.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
yeah, it's like Fortugana or something like that. Go look it up. But yeah, it just changed the scene completely. And like I thought about it a lot. Like a lot of movies, that stuck with me. Really had great soundtracks. Like a lot of the Dark Knight movies, like they're really great because there's a soundtrack that like
Oh,
just
yeah.
gets you pumped up. Like you hear the sound, hear the music, and you're just like, dang, I want to go at it. I want to do bad
I'll go to the
stuff.
gym to that stuff.
Right.
It's great.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah.
own the movies, but I don't remember the soundtrack. we'll listen to it later. But going off that, some of the games, like Fallen Order, there's the opening song. And that's the only time we hear it.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a great song.
The Mandalorian also has such an iconic sound.
Yeah,
everyone knows it now.
definitely.
Yeah.
Every time I watch an episode, I have like the song stuck in my head for like the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Shout out to one of the Instagram and YouTube musicians out there. If you ever get a chance, Samuel Kim.
Oh,
does
yeah.
a lot of the
He's
remixes or whatever. His personal favorite of mine is obviously Vote On mixed with the Halo theme, because Vote On from the Republic Commandos game and then the Halo theme, and it just sounds like you have that brotherhood as well as that sisterhood, that just combination of we're going through this. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so again, but Mandalorian, awesome
Oh, yeah.
soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Like, so how do you guys feel about the end of the Mandalorian?
Oh
So
my
it's
God.
cut. How long has it been out now?
About
Since Christmas. So,
yeah, since
Yeah.
Christmas. About
So almost a month. Recording.
at this time.
Lemon. Would you like to share your?
Because Lemon's just finished
Watch
it.
it.
He kind of
Well,
cheated.
Oh, more or less.
You might take offense, but I feel like he kind of did. But that's fine due to time restrictions.
Yeah, I didn't get around to it because I don't have a Disney Plus membership, and when I tried using someone else's, it was expired, so I said F it and watched the YouTube recap of it for this video. But even watching the recap, though, I still felt like some impact from the story, because I was very surprised when it showed like a clip of him taking his mask off to like say goodbye to Grogu or Baby Yoda, and this first time he took his mask off, or his helmet off, I mean, just to like help the kid out. So it's kind of, even just like watching that little clip made me feel something. And also, it's pretty funny. I knew like it was coming because I saw memes of Luke Skywalker showing up. So I'm like, oh, he probably shows up. I was really surprised at the CGI they used for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that deep fake or deep face fake, whatever it is pretty intense.
Yeah.
I know the Corridor crew, they've got a YouTube and Instagram as well. They reviewed that, and it's for a budget of a show. That's a hard thing to do. I
Yeah.
mean, one of the guys mentioned that you can have it 99% accurate, but it's just that 1% that still throws everybody off. For a long time, I thought they were going to use the Winter Soldier actor as a stand-in.
Oh, Sebastian Stan. Yeah, because he looks really similar to young Mark Hamill.
Yeah, and they've joked about it every now and again,
Yeah.
but I was so glad to see Luke at the end of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was really good. Another good hallway scene of just Luke going to town against those. Was it Death Troopers? Is that
Yeah.
what that-
Troopers.
That was great.
Which is a old Star Wars video game callback.
Yeah, because the Dark Troopers were in the original Battlefront, and they were in Dark Forces too, where they were first introduced, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
with Kyle Katarn, who is my favorite Star Wars character.
I wish they would bring him back. Oh, my
man.
god.
I understand that they cut him out of Rogue One, but that would have been a great opportunity to bring him in.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you know, people argue, why aren't these older characters in the newer things? And then you have a whole Rose Tico problem.
Oh,
Yeah, but then again, it's just there's so many characters. It's really hard.
It's an expansive universe, and
Yeah.
to think, and I get that it's a film, it's fiction, it ultimately doesn't matter, but there are so many characters out there doing so many things. To think that it's always the same 5 characters happening to everything is a stretch of the imagination, but you know what? It's fun.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why The Mandalorian was so refreshing, because it's like brand new characters, and then we get a few that are just fan favorites, like Luke and Ahsoka.
Sure, there's some fan service there. I mean, it is Dave Filoni, so you're going to bring in Ahsoka Tano. And,
Yeah.
and it really was heartwarming to see Luke Skywalker get that tribute that we really wanted and didn't get as fans in the sequels.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, that can be fan serviced later, and I'll just take my big boy party hat and celebrate over on my own corner.
Yeah.
It's like, some people didn't like it, whatever.
So it reminded me of another meme. I'm sorry, but it's of Kylo, and they're like at the school with Luke, and it's just like a text to like Grogu. It's like, hey Grogu, I really like you. Don't come to.
Oh, yeah.
Don't come to school
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow.
Don't
I
come
saw
in.
that and I laughed and I cried. I'm like, oh no, the school shootings.
Yeah, it's a sad topic, but
Dark humor. It's fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to laugh or you cry.
Right.
But Yeah. What were you gonna say, Miko?
Oh, I remember it. I think because there's a lot of reaction videos to Luke coming up, and of course the biggest one that people have talked about the most is a YouTube channel called Star Wars Theory.
Oh yeah, I like Star Wars Theory. He's Canadian.
Is he really?
I think so.
Oh, I've lost some respect. No, I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what? I think I have more respect for it now. I'm a patriot, I swear.
I actually did some kind of digging through the comments because there's a video of him watching it and he starts crying because he sees the X-wing. He goes, "Don't give me hope." And then like when he realizes it's like as it becomes more and more obvious it's Luke, he just starts losing it, like just tears coming down. So, and in the comments, people were saying the thing is he had cancer when he was a kid. He was diagnosed like early in his life. And he said it was watching Star Wars and Luke Skywalker fight the odds that got him through it.
That's cool.
So for him, and just for a lot of Luke Skywalker fans, like you said, this moment was just so cathartic because we finally got Luke in his prime, not bumming around on a planet drinking whatever the crap that stuff was from that weird cow thing, but actually like being a Jedi and being the hero that we all know and love.
Yeah, I'm a little sad that we don't get his. Oh crap! What's his name?
Grogu.
No, I always forget his name. He's the only Black Jedi.
Oh, Mace Windu.
Oh,
yeah,
Mace
never-
Windu.
You know, speaking of Star Wars Theory, he's actually doing a Vader film. If you haven't seen his first one, I highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Vader, and it's him kind of going... It's like it happens between the third and fourth film, and then I think he's doing a sequel to it where he might come into contact with Mace Windu. Like, Mace Windu is hiding on the planet Naboo. And so there's that whole thing. He might have actually already come out with it. Go check it out.
Yeah.
All right then.
Or if he comes out as Samuel L. Jackson, he's like, "Hey, mother."
I'm still alive, mother.
Mother.
Yeah, that'd be really fun.
You're still not Jedi Master, motherfucker.
I think he actually, Samuel L. Jackson was like, "Put me in one of the Stormtrooper costumes. No one will know I'm in the movie. Okay, they don't have to see my face. It won't tell it's me." And then someone posted a video of like a random Stormtrooper going, "Hey, mother effer," shooting people. And they're like, "Yep, that's Sam."
Well, I know the James Bond actor was in the sequel trilogy as a Stormtrooper.
Yeah, Daniel
What?
Craig.
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know that.
You guys are making me look like a Star Wars geek here. I mean, I don't know half
Well,
the stuff that people know out
usually it's
there.
Mako.
Yeah,
But
No, like you remember the Stormtrooper that's in the room with Rey and she does her first mind trick and gets
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Daniel Craig.
James Bond wouldn't let her do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
James Bond's too strong for that.
But Boba Fett,
Yes.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
the Book of Fett.
The Book of whatever.
Can we just-
Whatever the title is.
Can we just appreciate the fan service of Bib Fortuna?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nice.
he played Bib Fortuna in the Phantom Menace.
Did he really?
He did. Same actor.
Oh,
And so to
yeah,
bring
yeah,
him
yeah.
back, and the fact that they showed him fat, after leading the Hutts and everything, that was cool.
Yeah, that was good.
In fact, they even included his staff, which was originally with the action figure toy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He didn't have that in any of the other movies, but they threw it in the show, which was cool.
That is so cool.
Dave Filoni, he does his homework.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really smart guy. But yeah, I'm really excited for that.
That comes out in December
Yeah, along with
2021.
supposedly the third season of The Mandalorian.
They're not doing one after the other.
No, I heard they're supposed to be doing both at the same time.
Wow, that's the one thing you got to be careful with is just the overkill.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm enjoying about a show is that, again, it feels like we have something to look forward to on Friday.
Yeah.
I remember growing up and my parents would watch, Frasier or Seinfeld
Yep,
or
yep.
Friends, and I was always sent to bed before they were allowed to watch those
Yeah.
more adult shows. And I love them now because if you haven't seen them, again, go watch it. But this is something that's for us as 20, 30, even 40-year-olds now to get through the work week, and thank goodness it's Friday. But if they overkill us like they do sometimes with just give, I feel like we don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that myself. Like when I binge through like a whole series, I feel like it kind of hurts the series a little bit because then you don't get like the anticipation.
Mm-hmm.
That word.
If the whole season comes out at once, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they've been at least pretty good with it, just one episode a week.
Yeah.
But then, it might distract from the other show, the other one, and it wouldn't probably get as big as it possibly could have if both of them were out at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they like film it, but then they just wait a little bit.
Sure. When one season ends, then they start the other one or whatever, and they release it.
Yeah. So, and I think right now there is apparently Gina Carano's in some trouble because she's been posting
Who?
like,
Oh,
The
yes,
Rebel
yes,
Trooper.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
She's been political.
yeah,
I like social media. I'm not on Facebook much anymore because it is what it is, which is why I much more enjoy Instagram to a point. But Twitter has some definite evils to it. It's, again, great for getting the word out and saying, hey, I'm having a bar mitzvah, come party. But there's definitely got to be some balance there. And addressing Gina, and she actually came back, I think you were about to mention this, Manko, and she came back and addressed all the hate she was getting for, because Lucasfilm is supporting a COVID memorial. And she originally said, I'm not going to wear a mask or whatever it was. And so people were saying, Star Wars, if you're really going to be a part of this memorial, fire her.
yeah,
Which is hypocritical. And again, I go off on this rant all the time. I can't stand the hypocrites out there because they will support other Hollywood opinions that, again, happen to align with them as individuals or groups, but then they'll go after those that differ from their opinion.
yeah,
And so, again, another recent Star Wars-related Twitter account that I think was under fire was a new hostess to, I think, Higher Republic show or whatever it is. And she came out against a lot of white stuff. I think one of her tweets was in regards to the 2020 debate. She mentioned that it's a disgrace that two white dudes, and again I'm paraphrasing, are talking about races and how deprived they are. And again, we're not seeing a whole lot of flare up in that regard as we are to Gina and her character. And you can't go on this pick and choose. I mean, yes, you're entitled to your opinion, but it just stands to your character if you're going to say this Hollywood person can have their say, but this person can't because they don't agree with me.
Yeah, it's like, I'm open-minded and tolerant, and you're a horrible person for not agreeing with me, like not being of the same opinion of me.
Right, and I don't believe the average Joe or Jane out there is an extremist. I just think we get carried away in these waves of, this person said this, and I like their stuff when they did this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, a personal example, I like a lot of Tom Hanks movies.
Oh, yeah.
I like a lot of what he does for different communities. I don't like everything, and I don't think I would necessarily want to have dinner with the guy, but I could still go watch a movie he acts in because he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I have to agree with him.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, the character they're playing isn't who they necessarily are in real life.
Right. Someone was hired to do a job. Let them do that job.
Yeah.
And then leave the politics out of it. Move on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
not really political, but it's kind of a similar case with the character that played Rose. I mean, we talked about it before.
Oh,
She
Kevin
was-
Ray Tran.
Yeah, she was just doing her job. She did her lines fine.
Mm-hmm.
But people, give her death
Well, and the
threats.
actor that played Finn, he felt like he got the shaft.
Yeah.
He was advertised to be the stormtrooper who becomes a Jedi and didn't.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of fan theories about, that's what he was trying to tell Rey at the end of the last movie was that he had some force sensitivity.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he liked her or whatever.
He's Windu's grandson.
And again, people just need to get off their high horses and realize, I mean, I know I say things that don't line up and I can be two-faced, but it's when you don't admit to those kind of things or you're so prideful against that. But again, I'm going off on a tangent, gents. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess, to kind of just add to that real quick, I feel like we're a little bit absolutist in society nowadays.
Sure.
Because, I remember watching something on Gandhi, and there were people in the comments saying, oh, Gandhi was actually a terrible person. He was a misogynist. And I was like, that was normal in his time. That doesn't take away from all the good that he did.
Right.
And honestly, no one's perfect as well.
Nobody's perfect. And historical contents really shape situations.
Yeah.
I mean, should someone be so bad because that's how they were, raised and that's the culture and their upbringing? I don't think that's fair to judge people on what we now know as a society, whether that's better or not. I know people in the, next century are going to look at us and say how moronic we were for, having this issue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair for them to fault us for what we do today.
Well,
Yeah, it's like you can't judge historical figures by present standards.
well, what about ObiWan? He's kind of perfect.
Yeah, going back to Star Wars.
ObiWan, Jesus, blasphemous.
It's actually one of my favorite Star Wars memes ever is of Qui-Gon and Darth Maul fighting in the desert. It says, here's a colorized depiction of Jesus Christ fighting Satan in the desert during the 40 days of temptation.
That's great.
But Qui-Gon, speaking of Qui-Gon,
Oh, the news.
he wants to be back. And it's like, well, I think it's settled now that Qui-Gon is going to become a character in the Obi-Wan series.
This isn't one of those Spider-Man 3, this person's going to replace their role, is it?
Well,
One of those
reportedly,
jokes.
just from multiple sources that I've seen, Liam Neeson is interested in being in the Obi-Wan show. There's nothing official, but he's interested.
I mean, I can't blame him. What
Yeah.
actor doesn't want to get involved in the Star Wars universe right now?
Oh, yeah.
It's hot stuff.
Yeah. Even if, you're not a huge fan, I think just the fact that it'd be so big for your career would be something.
We were just saying, Daniel Craig
Yeah,
wanted to be a
Daniel Craig.
stormtrooper. I would love to be a stormtrooper on set. I don't care if I die or whatever.
Yeah. That'd be a selling point, I think, for me.
I mean, again, not to give reasons on why to join the 501st, but a lot of the stormtroopers they used in The Mandalorian
Yeah, are
were
from...
from the 501st.
Yeah.
I mean, it's screen accurate costumes, and they needed the bodies.
Yeah.
So,
Literally.
join it because you love it, not because you get perks.
Yeah, for real.
But coming back to hopefully the top of the rabbit hole here, yes, there's a lot of stuff happening in these 5-10 years. There's a lot of announcements for new things coming out. We talked about video games and stuff, and I think Hammerhead mentioned that there's a new video game on a new platform that's not EA.
Oh, yeah. Weren't you the one that found about it, Lemon?
I saw a rumor about it wasn't the Ubisoft one, it was something different. It was just an article saying that there's some sort of development team outside of AI developing another Old Republic video game.
That'd be awesome. I think
That'd be
EA's gotten
fantastic.
really comfortable with exclusive rights, and they need some competition.
Oh,
Exactly, yeah.
Because competition ups the quality,
Right.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
I'm excited to see the new video games come out because for me personally, I actually enjoy the video games of the Star Wars universe a lot more than the movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
'Cause, my favorite game of all time is The Force Unleashed and Battlefront 2, the original. And those games, I just love being inside the Star Wars universe, being a part of it, and
Yeah.
carrying out violent acts.
Gratuitous violence.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they do with the video games next.
Yeah.
Because apparently it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft is confirmed to be working on an open world Star Wars game right now, which
So-
is
Would be like Assassin's Creed.
that's the
Star
thing.
Wars.
If it was 1313, a bounty hunter just
Yeah.
making his way through the galaxy, simple man making his way through the universe, that would be tremendous.
You see, that would work really well, though, as an open world. Except I feel like they'd only have to be able to do hubs on each planet.
Sure,
'Cause
because it's a big planet.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
maybe even a ship, like they did with the Old Republic. You have your ship, and that's where you go, or then decide where else you're gonna go and take care of all your things.
Yeah, and so you might be at a spaceport on this planet, or maybe 2 other places that you'll be able to transport to and not cross the world.
Yeah.
I wonder if it will
Yeah.
cost money to alter your character, or if you'll be able to freely choose what species you are. If you're a bounty hunter or a
Oh, that's
Jedi
true, that's
or a
true.
trooper. Kind of I think that was Old Republic games.
Yeah, you can do
A
that.
lot of fun.
Oh,
But I mean, if it becomes another cash grab, then I probably will pass.
yeah, it being Ubisoft, I wouldn't be surprised if it's you can be a Jedi or a bounty hunter, or if you pay an extra $5, you can be a special smuggler or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather they pull a Skyrim type thing where you have a selection of at least 10 different races,
oh, that would be cool.
and then you can edit that character.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can change up your face a little bit. You can change different colors and
Yeah.
how heavy you are and how skinny.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't turn into something pornographic when how how many breasts you can have. I don't
Cyberpunk Star Wars.
You might have heard us talk about that already.
I think I listen to your stuff.
Yeah, go on.
I guess if I can throw out my thing, now that we've gone through the sequel trilogy and through like the initial roughness of a lot of these things, I'm excited for what comes next because, you know, they announced like 5 or 6 new Star Wars shows. So including an Ahsoka show, and I'm kind of hoping that'll tie into Rebels because I actually really liked Rebels. Yeah, because Thrawn.
Well, would you rather have it start at the end of the show, and then it's between the end of the show and Mandalorian?
So it becomes its own spin-off, as I say?
Yeah, like
Okay.
just of how she became up to where she is in the Mandalorian at the end of the first season, and then in the second season, just more stuff.
Yeah,
But-
I'm good with that. Well, and then, like, you know, they announced the High Republic, so that's like a whole era of Star Wars that we've never really heard too much about before, so far as I know.
Yeah, and we were talking about before, there's like the treasure trove of lore
Right.
that
Yeah.
Star Wars has that they can always go back to.
Yeah, and like because they're bringing back Dark Troopers and what were we talking about before? Oh, like Dark Troopers, and they brought in ships from the Old Republic. Just all these things that they're bringing back into canon. There's a chance they'll bring Kyle Katarn back into canon at some point, you know. And I'm just actually really excited to see where they go with it.
Sure. There's a meme out there that I absolutely love with, which takes place in the prequels, where Newt Gunray is like, "My lord, is that legal?" And you know, Sidious is photoshopped to be Dave Filoni, and he's like, "I will make it canon."
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was too funny. I think it'd be bonkers if they made a live action Force Unleashed game.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Because
They could still get away with it.
Yeah, but yeah, just the abilities of the Force in that game is just so bonkers, and it like breaks the lore.
Yeah.
The lore of the games, but I don't care. I love it.
Yeah. Maybe at some point they'll finally make a second Republic Commando, because there's been rumors of that for like a decade.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at a crossroads with that because leaving my character Sev behind was heartbreaking enough, and the rumor is that he goes and he helps the Rebel Alliance and everything, but the other members of the Delta Squad they become Imperial Commandos.
Oh no!
And so, I mean, are you going to get to experience both sides? Are they going to get meet? Do they go back for Sev? That would be an interesting take on, you know, if they make Republic Commandos 2 or a sequel.
Yeah, I know they did make. It was like a dinky little phone game before iPhone.
Huh.
And it was like Order 66, like your commando team is sent in to take out some of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like that could be really cool.
That would be cool. I know Omega Squad with Darman, Niner, Atten, and Fee or Court, depending on, again, if you've read the books. They're the special ops Republic Commandos that dress in all black, and their armor's pretty sick, I'm not going to lie. But to see their perspectives and if we could throw in their Mandalorian heritage and their trainers from Camino, Cal Scarata and Wallen Val, would be really cool. So I think it was Kathleen Kennedy who said that there's no more content out there. There's so much, whether from the books or the comics. You could, in fact, I think there was a Studio C or whatever sketch of where they were from Star Wars, and they were making backstories for every single stormtrooper that was ever on the Death Star and everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there, and I'm hoping it doesn't turn into a Star Trek-like universe.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Star Trek, but I feel like there's a lot of similarities now between the two, and especially in the fan base.
Yeah.
We actually had a Star Trek.
Star Trek versus Star Wars debate not too
a
long
little
ago.
bit,
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
So I've actually, like, Zara's just laughing, but did Kathleen Kennedy actually say that? Like, there's no more content?
It's he said, she said, third source, probably. I know a lot of fans out there are after her head.
Yeah.
And again, I hate cancel culture, but there's a point where someone does their job bad enough, you really should fire them.
Yeah.
I mean, she must not really know much about Star Wars if she said that.
I know, I'm like, there was a joke on the Honest Trailers for A New Hope where they're like, every single character in the cantina scene has their own Wikipedia page. And it's true.
It is
it's actually true.
And they've got backstories, and people create their own characters because... And this was one of the things that I think a lot of people growing up loved about Star Wars, was originally anyone could have been a Jedi. Anyone could be a smuggler. Anyone could be a trooper. And we played in the backyard as these characters, as our own characters, as our own renditions. And we'd have these fantasized experiences running around on a mission for Luke Skywalker, or, shooting pistols at stormtroopers next to Princess Leia or whatever it was. But we created our own characters, and that was one of the great things about the vast expanse of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, part of its strength is that it is just such a huge, living, breathing universe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of passion there too. Like a lot of the fan films are like so much better than the sequel films.
A lot of great YouTube videos.
Yeah, like TIE Fighter, SC-38 reimagined.
Sure, and a lot of those videos are done by either a small group of people or one person.
Yeah.
A quick pitch out there is, if you haven't seen Star Wars Apprentice, it follows Darth Maul. I love that one.
That one
and
was
that
amazing.
was just by a small team. I'm forgetting on the company's name. I'll have to comment underneath you guys' video or whatever. But there's so many great things out there, and you don't have to love it all. You don't have to like it all. But you can certainly appreciate that there is a passion, even though it's fiction, even though it's just something that is in an entertainment industry. It's something fun.
Yeah.
Also, in the modding community, there's like, I saw this one mod that turned Fallout New Vegas into like a totally like Star Wars video game. Like they made their own they basically made their own video game and just put it into like the engine for Fallout New Vegas.
Well,
Cool.
thank you, Bethesda.
I mean, speaking of modding, there's the one, I think it's the Lamar meme that you were talking. I think that's what it's called.
Oh, Lamar roasts Franklin.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's ObiWan roasting Maul. And he's like, when I cut you in half, I should have cut you at the neck or something like that.
Yeah, should have gone for your head. And then
Yeah,
he,
that's what it was.
like gangster walks away.
He shows up later, he's like, hello there.
Cool. Anything else?
Actually, a quick Seb, I wanted to see what your opinion on the Force Unleashed video game. Did you ever play that one?
Never played it.
Oh, really?
I watched a lot. I watched all the cutscenes on YouTube. I've got some great friends that play the video game, and some friends that love it so much that they found all like the little hacks and stuff.
Oh, really?
They really break it down, and I liked it. I mean, I only watched the cutscenes and some gameplay, but I thought it was great. I thought the whole Vader scene, again, another great hallway or battle or whatever,
Right.
is fascinating, and I think it shines a light on the hope that video games can have in our near future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that game because that's the first game I ever got invested in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the games before that I played just for the gameplay, like for Battlefront 2 and like all those games I played just because I wanted to play it.
Sure.
But like the Force Unleashed, I actually cared about the Starkiller, the main character, because I got invested in his story and I wanted to like see him succeed, and like it broke my heart when a lot of bad things happened to him, and
Sure.
I never realized video games could do that for you. And I remember the first time I beat it, I got the bad ending.
Oh,
And I was so
I did
upset.
too.
Yeah. I was so upset. My mom was just like, "Why are you so upset? It's a video game." Like, you don't get it, mom.
You don't understand.
And we talked about music as one being important to video games and films. Another big key element is plot.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't have this, perfect character going through all these endless trials as if they were, a whistle in the wind, no problem.
Right.
Facing hardships and overcoming those with trial and error and sometimes even sweat and blood. I know I've bitten my lip and bled from playing a video game, from concentrating so hard on it. It really it sells games 10 times better than, the coolest graphics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, if I can jump in for a second, have you played Jedi Fallen Order?
Again, another one I haven't played, but I watch way too much stuff. I need to get more invested in. But again, another great plot.
Yeah, and I remember we were talking about making your way through these challenges with blood, sweat, and tears. I don't want to spoil it too much, but there is a point where the main character, Cal Kestis, just hits his lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
And even I was feeling bad for him. I was like, what does he do now with all this going on? And that's when, he gets kind of a message that kind of lifts him up and gives him hope. And I'm sorry, it's just such a good quote. I'm going to have to spoil it. But he's told that the obstacles in the path will become the path. And I thought that was that's like what makes Jedi and Star Wars so great. You know, it's just stuff like that.
It's a life lesson. I mean, we constantly get, knocked down time and time and time again in our daily battles at work, at school, in society. Our favorite politician doesn't win one time, or things don't go the way you wanted. And it's that hero struggle. We're all the heroes of our own story. And to have that lesson taught in video games, in movies, in comic books is pivotal. I think we all need that, and I think we need a little more of that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, luckily we're still kind of home a lot. Yeah, things are. But, I mean, they'll still be there for the future, which is nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
It was a lot of fun, and I appreciate you asking me to come and, rant and pitch my little bit here and name drop and all that great stuff. But
yeah, if your page decides to do a podcast, listen. I was kidding. Nah.
Oh well, share a link on our Instagram page or something. It'll be fun. We'll support each other. Feel the love.
Oh, yeah. Spread the love.
All right. Thanks for everyone for joining this time. Enjoy this when you listen to it. I hope you guys like it. And we'll see you next week.
Bye. We're going to leave this in.